Imagine this. You've got a company that's been around for 100 years. It's a giant in its region. And then, one day, it decides to sell off nearly half of itself. Well, that's exactly what the Massy Group did. And in this explainer, we're going to dig into the surprising data that sparked this massive $200 million pivot. So that's the real question at the heart of this whole thing, right? Why would a company that spent an entire century buying things suddenly start selling them? It just kind of goes against everything we think we know about how big companies are supposed to grow. For almost 100 years, Massy's strategy was pretty simple: build an empire. Ever since it was founded way back in 1932, the goal was always to acquire more businesses, to create this huge, secure conglomerate. The whole idea was that bigger is always better. But then, a single internal review in 2018 uncovered a truth that changed absolutely everything. Okay, so let's get into the first big part of this story, that unexpected pivot. What's so fascinating here is that this huge change wasn't driven by some charismatic new CEO's gut feeling. Nope. It was driven by something way more objective: the data. And the data just doesn't lie. And here it is, the one number that set this whole thing in motion: 48%. That 2018 review found something absolutely staggering. Nearly half, let that sink in, nearly half of the company's assets weren't just kind of underperforming. They were actively losing value. Turns out the empire was built on a really shaky foundation. Now, to really understand why this was such a code red situation, we've got to quickly talk about a key financial idea called the weighted average cost of capital, or WACC for short. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's the minimum passing grade for any investment a company makes. If a part of your business isn't earning more than your WACC, it's not just slacking off, it's actually dragging the whole company's GPA down. For Massy, that passing grade was 9.6%. And suddenly, that 48% number made terrifying sense. Almost half of their businesses weren't even clearing this super basic financial hurdle. The data was crystal clear. A huge chunk of the company was a financial drain. So when you're faced with a reality like that, you really have a choice. Do you try to patch up a crumbling empire, or do you build something new? Well, they chose to build something new. And that leads us to their new strategy: creating a leaner, meaner Massy by shifting from a wide, sprawling base to focused, concentrated power. The game plan was twofold, and honestly, pretty brilliant. First, sell off all the businesses that were either losing money or just didn't fit their new focused vision. Second, take all that cash and pour it back into the areas where they were already winning and could become even more dominant. And the result of this? It was dramatic. By selling off big divisions like Massy Technologies, they freed up an incredible $200 million in cash. You see, this wasn't about retreating. It was about reloading for a much smarter, more targeted attack. So, what does the new Massy look like? Well, it's now built around three absolute powerhouse portfolios. Integrated retail is now the king, driving a massive 44% of their profit. This really shows you that massive shift away from just collecting random businesses toward creating real powerful synergy. And when you peek inside these portfolios, the strategy gets even clearer. They kept their dominant supermarket chain, their essential gas products business, and their super high-value car and heavy machinery dealerships. These weren't just random profitable units. These were businesses where they were already market leaders. They basically traded a scattered presence for deep, unshakable market positions. Okay, so this was a huge, difficult change. And it all leads to the big question: did it actually work? This brings us to the payoff, and we're going to look at the financial results for sure, but also at this deeper sense of purpose that their new focus managed to unlock. And the financial answer? Oh yeah, it was a resounding yes. In just the 6 months right after the pivot, their after-tax profit jumped by 20%. That is a massive increase, and it's just proof positive that this new focused strategy was working, that financial discipline was delivering real, tangible results. But there's another really cool layer to this story. Massy directly connects their financial success to their social contributions. It's not some afterthought or a PR move. It is literally built into the structure of the company. And here's how it works. It's actually remarkably simple. Every single part of the business, as it makes a profit, automatically contributes 1% of that profit to the Massy Foundation. This creates this incredible feedback loop. The more profitable the company gets, the more it invests right back into the community. It's a system where financial success and social impact are totally intertwined. So, when we zoom out and look at the big picture, this whole story leaves us with a final, really crucial question. It's about more than just one company. It's really a clash between two fundamentally different ways of thinking about growth in the 21st century. On one side, you have that old model, empire building. The goal is just accumulation and size, based on the belief that being diversified makes you safe. But on the other side, you've got this new model, data-driven focus. Here, the goal is efficiency and synergy, believing that creating concentrated, focused value is the real key to long-term success. And this is the question this whole story really leaves us with. In today's fast-changing economy, what's the smarter bet for long-term value? The sprawling, maybe false security of an empire, or the quick, agile power of data-driven focus? Massy's $200 million pivot makes a pretty compelling argument that sometimes the best way to grow is to first get a little smaller.